with no break in between. The guys at the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series are here tonight at Atlanta to kick off a brand new season. It's going to get better than what it was. You thought Season 2 was good. Catch us for Season 3. It all starts here at a super speedway-ish type track. My name's Peter Gretton, and Derek Jacobs from USA joins me in commentary tonight. I should say good morning to you, Derek. It's night over here, but it's morning over there. Welcome to the booth.
Thank you, Peter. Glad to be here this evening and this morning over here in the west coast of the United States of America. But I am telling you what, tonight should be a great night of racing for over there tonight. Atlanta is a great track, tons of speed. So should be a good quality race tonight.
It's going to be great to watch. What a way to kick off a great season. Remember, we've seen Dave Douglas wrap up Season 2 with great fashion. It all went down to the wire. And, well, just one thing to note as well to bring into this opening round, be it a super speedway, I'll get that right once here tonight, being like a super speedway. There was 3 different winners in the Triple Crown rounds last season, so hopefully we can see that again. And cash prizes up for grabs each round as well. So if you win, you get to take home $50. If you runner up, you take home $20, I think it is. And well, any random driver that finishes the race, Derek, can be awarded a prize as well in the post-race review. So splashing the cash again, and well, that brings us to thanking everyone that gets us here, Derek, Andy and Tom. They do good working behind the scenes and very organised blokes, and also Tom for bringing on his business Skypoynt as sponsor again, and still looking for plenty of sponsors to sponsor this great league. So go check out skypoyntracing.com for more details about that.
You couldn't
Derek?
ask for better guys. Andy Barber, Tom Pritchard, they work really hard putting this league together. And, the quality is just phenomenal.
Well, we seen good racing last season, didn't we, Derek? In the competition, I think you were present for quite a few of them rounds. Have you had a chance to work your eyes over the entry list, and have you had a look at some of the competition that's going to be out on track tonight? Because another stellar field. We got Andrew Dyson. He's come back, and of course Dave Douglas and Riley Curtis.
Dave Douglas has been a top contender. I wouldn't count out any of the Skypoynt guys, the Southern Stoners. I can't quite tell who's all on track at the moment quite yet, but it's a lot of participants that were in here last year. If they're showing up again this season, let me tell you what, it's going to be a total grind for every competitor. They're going to be out there. They're going to be giving it their all. You got to be in it to win it.
You got to be in it to win it, and it just goes perfectly here tonight, Derek. And Atlanta, I suppose you spend a lot of time behind the wheel of cup cars and trucks and stuff like that. Is it still a learning curve out there? Because remember, Atlanta, this is the resurfaced Atlanta, isn't it, for the opening round? So is it still a learning curve out there? Because it is.
It is. There's a multiple groove racetrack right now. That's what NASCAR wanted to do. It's all about patience. If you have patience on this racetrack, you're going to be able to do well. If you can find yourself not getting caught up in the big one, let me tell you what, and you can survive, you're going to be in it to win it, because this racetrack, there's multiple grooves. It provides tons and tons of action all over the racetrack. We're talking from high to low. You can run anywhere on this racetrack. And with the draft package now, with the iRacing that's implemented, let me tell you what, we're going to be in for a great show this afternoon.
And it's going to be a team race too, like we see in super speedways, and the guys, I think I made mention, Derek, in the last series, that the teams have come out of the woodwork. The Sim Boys have packed the fields, the Southern Stars, of course, and the Inside Lane Productions, and it's going to be we're going to see some great team driving as Matt Patton just taste the wall here in practice. But shout out to all the teams that have come out. I suppose you're normally rubbing doors with these guys, Derek, but great to have you up in the booth.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to be up in the booth this evening. And I just want to implement, if you don't have friends, you better not make any enemies, because having your teammates there with you is going to be a key. It's going to be crucial, Even get some different teams and maybe kind of strategize and work together, not only just, kind of finding their groove that they can kind of run with other teammates, other team members, of other teams, actually. As long as they feel comfortable, ride alongside those other cars. I would not be surprised to see a few of these other teams kind of mix and match, kind of work together to be able to survive to get to the end of this race.
Well, it's 130 laps. Anything can happen, and well, they've been pretty kind as well, Derek, with 4 sets of tyres. So that's 3 over the wall, and we think the fuel window will be around about 38 to 43 laps. And they're probably burning at around about 1.3 litres of that precious fuel. And for the first time this season as well, Derek, I know you were pretty happy to hear this, but the introduction of green, white checkers, 3 in fact, to go in line with the NASCAR Camping World Series.
Wow. I mean, just the implementation of that is going to be huge. I mean, that's going to give everybody a shot at the end. As long as you're there, as long as you stay out of trouble, and miss the carnage, because you don't only have 1 shot, you don't only have 2 shots, you have 3 shots. 3 shots, wow. Let me tell you can lose a lot of trucks in three tries.
How do you go planning for one of them as well? We have a look at big carnage.
Big carnage there on the track, number 41. Just kind of got tied up there with the number 6. That looks like my buddy.
Yeah, that's Tom Pritchard.
Tom Pritchard. The owner of Skypoynt, so, you know what, it's anybody's race. It's going to be anybody's race. Just like I said, I mean, as long as you can be there at the end, and kind of stay out of trouble, it's a draft track, so you don't even have to be up close. You can work with a few other competitors and find your way there at the end.
It's going to be like that, and I think what I've called, if in other races as well, as we flick back to the race summary here, 130 laps, 200 miles. So for the first 170 miles, I think it's accurate to say that's a bidding war. I think I've been calling it bidding war for the last few laps or last few miles of this race. And just touching on those green white checkers, Derek, I think that a couple of these teams, if they're not used to having so many green white checkers, or 3 in fact, then they may be called out for fuel, because I think it works out here at Atlanta around about 12 litres of fuel you need to have on board if we do, or extra, if we do go the extra 3 green white checker.
That's absolutely right, Peter. You need to be planning. Your crew chief, your pit crew, they need to have that in their game plan. You always got to expect the unexpected when it comes to the NASCAR Truck Series, at Atlanta. You never know what's going to happen, and it can happen at a blink of an eye. It can happen at any moment. So you kind of just got to plan ahead. You got to have that strategy in play. There's a lot of good quality drivers in the field this afternoon or this evening that I know are going to be out there planning for that. But what they do not need to do is they do not need to kind of use that 3 green white checkers. You don't want to be thinking about that the entire time, because obviously you don't want to have to use those all the time, because it will end up costing you in the long run.
Let's see. Hopefully we don't have to use it, and I'm hoping this season we're going to see some races go green to check. Have a look at that gold number 1 on the Dave Douglas truck here, and I want to get a chat with him. I'll just drag him away. Hopefully it's not a bad time. Our defending champion, that number 1, looks good on the car. Dave, how you feeling? No break going into season 3. How you feeling?
Hey, g'day boys. Feeling. I don't know. It's Atlanta, and there's a lot of cars here, so I'm a bit worried, to be honest. This was the only race I DNF last year, so it's going to be an intense race. Just going to be about surviving, I think, tonight.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Derek. Have you done plenty of laps here, Dave? Have you got the strategy down pat?
I'm still undecided. Decisive on my setup. I don't know which one to run here yet. So I'm just trying to get some laps in there to just test them both out and see what happens.
Yeah, I thought I'd just grab you for a quick chat, so we didn't grab you in quali. Derek, you're about to fire off a question at Dave.
Yeah, Dave, what are you thinking, little strategy-wise? Are you thinking it's going to be a top groove track, a bottom groove track? What are your thoughts? The way that you're kind of moving around the track right now. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because the lines will move differently, so you just got to get in the right line at the right time, I guess, and try to stay out of trouble. So the bottom will go at some point, and then the middle will go at one point, and then by the end of the race, hopefully we're using the third lane as well. But I think at the start of the race will be 2 lanes for sure, and then just got to be in the right one. But I'm kind of hoping to be in that top 5 area and hopefully stay out of trouble.
Well, you hit it right there on the head, Dave. You got to stay out of trouble, and wish you the best of luck this afternoon on your run, and be safe.
I appreciate it. Thanks, boys. Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Good luck, mate. Hopefully talk to you on the top step. I'll just throw you back with your teammate Riley Curtis. He's running with the A1 Sim Sports guys here for this season, mate. So although he's going to be really competitive, he's going to be running under a different team. So watch Dave Douglas move up, and a little bit of added pressure, I think, too. Derek is having the number 1 leading into the opening round of a brand new series, and then you throw in the no break. Just a little bit more pressure. Let's see if he can keep it cool here tonight, and hopefully last season's woes here at Atlanta don't come back for him.
Yeah, absolutely. That number 1 number tends to leave just a little bit of target on your back. You're always having that. Then, the rest of the field always kind of want a little piece of you. So that number 1 number, has big expectations and a big tough shoes to fill tonight at Atlanta.
Be there at the end. That's what we're saying. 3 minutes 45 roughly to go in practice, and we'll move into qualifying lone quali again here tonight. And for this series, Mackenzie 30.28. Look at that, about 300s. Although that's in the draft, a little bit of ping pong action there. Friendly fire between the boys there. A couple of your boys having a crack there. I suppose you want them to get out of their system in practice here and not carry that over into the race, Derek.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They gotta get their bumps and bruises in now and see what the setup's gonna do. See what their truck's gonna, how it's gonna hold up. You might as well get it out now before it starts counting. So.
And with all the names that are here tonight, I'm sure I'm probably throwing you under here a little bit, Derek, but is there any names that sort of stick out a little bit more than most?
Well, man, it's just such a talented field tonight. I mean, I see, Jason Holdsworth in the field tonight, a Colby Jordan. Of course, looks like D-Max in the number 1 position right now. But it's anybody's game. I mean, this is a track that it doesn't matter if you start at the back or the front. It's anybody's game. So, Adam Malone is in there. Andy Barber's up front. I mean, this is anybody's game. I mean, anybody, they all have great talent. Each and every one of these drivers here tonight is very talented and, has the opportunity to win. I mean, it's Atlanta, as long as you're there at the end, just like we've been saying, for years, it's anybody's game. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts is, well, we're going to see a lot of what we're seeing last week at the last week or last season. A lot of pedestrian and responsible laps leading into a race, especially like this as well. And I don't think I've mentioned, Derek, I failed to put that back in my sources here today. I'll bring that to you all tomorrow, but a little bit different format for the crown races here this season. We'll go through a little bit more detail next round, as I didn't add it in here, my bad. But yeah, this is one of the crown races, so we will be visiting Atlanta, Daytona and Talladega 3 times throughout as well. So prize money up for grabs, and I'm not too sure if you knew, Derek, but $50 up for grabs for this race win and every round.
Hey, $50 is $50. I mean, there's a lot of talent out here in this field, and that money's up for grabs tonight. Every single one of these drivers is going to be hungry and going after that cash. So I'm glad that Skypoynt's throwing that up tonight, because these guys are going to be out there hungry and ready to take that cash away.
As we see Dave Douglas just try a pit entry there in Atlanta. It's I haven't been on the new track, but I have been on the old track. The pit entry in the old track was, well, I don't think I can explain it correctly without swearing, Derek, but the new track, is that any better? The pit entry?
The pit entry is actually a little bit shorter. You know, you got to get woed up coming out of the corner. I mean, there's a little hash, you know, kind of a little guide there. If you can hit that guide and really, you know, put your brake bias to the front, make sure that you get slowed down, you know, you're going to make it safe. But you know what? It's hard. It's everybody makes mistakes. Everybody's going to overshoot. And it's going to, you know, if we got 3-5 pit stops, oh boy, we're going to be in for a fun treat.
130 laps coming up here for the opening round, the season opener. The Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. We've just ticked over into qualifying, Derek. Only 2 shots at it here at Atlanta. Does your second lap count?
You know, this depends on how these drivers want to take their qualifying lap. I mean, some guys are, you know, one and done, you know, or some guys like to run and make it toward the second lap's their money lap. So, you know, it's each to their own, and it's anybody's ball game.
Chris Tomlin, one of the first drivers out. He's driving the 212 machine here, so we've been in chat with him. He's excited to get this one underway. I think he took second in the SRW Championship last night, so he's coming off a high from a good championship you know, showing for him. Luke Kenny, he's in the same team as well, and just going through some of them teams. Bloody Derek, you can't go past Nitro. Jason Holdsworth, I think he's the only Nitro showing in the field, but albeit he's smart. He'll be able to pick up anyone and work with him, I suppose.
Oh, absolutely. He's going to be one of those guys that's going to be silent but deadly. He's going to be coming from the back of the field. If I know Jason Holdsworth, he's going to be playing it smart. He knows we have so many laps, and he knows exactly how to run these kind of super speedway kind of races. He's going to be kind of, you know, being that sneaky guy. He's definitely going to be there at the end of this.
The time starts to come in now. Darren McKenzie, Southern Stars Esports, 31.88 for his first lap. He's going around again. Aiden Schulz with a 31.92 and Barber 32.06. Roffey splits up the Southern Stars there and equals that time, 32.06. The times are close, but the Southern Stars boys, have a look at that. They've been practicing. Barber goes to the top with a 31.84.
Wow, yeah, definitely showing some great pace on the quality set. This, who was that? The 2 car getting loose there. Is that D-Mac?
That was D-Mac. I think he's finished his lap. 31.83. Jai Schultz for the Platinum Boys. Shows the Southern Stars by 1,000. Were you expecting the times to be this close here at Atlanta? There's not much in it.
You know what? You know, I think all the times are going to be relatively close here. You know, I mean, it's a super speedway. You're basically pedal to the metal. So we'll see. You know, between 1st and 20th, we're only about. Couldn't quite tell there, but we're probably only several 100. So it's going to be a close race all the way through.
It's going to be a real close race. 130 laps. We'll get that race summary up there. 130 laps, 200 miles or a little bit tick over, and didn't touch on the banking earlier. Derek, 28 degrees in the corners and 5 on the straightaways. The banking here, it's a lot different from the old one. That benefits them, you think, coming into this round?
Absolutely. They totally reconfigured the track. They made some parts wider, some parts narrower. You know, it definitely added some banking to add that speed, to give it that super speedway feel. It's not technically a super speedway, but it gives you that type of racing. So I guarantee it's going to be a great one this afternoon.
Still classified as a 1.5 mile, isn't it? So short racing, 130 laps. We're looking at probably about an hour behind the wheel here tonight, and a little bit longer races for this season, as I think we're looking at our one of probably the last laps to compete. But it looks like the grid is pretty much sorted itself out. Fenson 110 puts it only levels it with two. Barber and Mackenzie slots it there in the middle. There's only 3 different times in the top 7. 31.83 is on pole, 31.84 for second, third, and fourth, 31.87 for fifth, sixth, and seventh. How good's that?
That definitely shows you, the level that these guys have been putting in the work. How fast they've got these trucks to get for their position. They're hungry and they want to be running up front.
And well, that's one thing here. It's a little bit different from a super speedway, Derek, and you'll probably, correct me if I am wrong, that you start from the pits here, it doesn't benefit you. You're going to go a lap down. So normal super speedways, you can get away with it, can't you? But here, I think if you pit under green, out of sequence, it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to actually probably go 2 laps down if you go under green. So with the speed these guys are going to be traveling in the draft, I would expect about 176 to 179, somewhere in that range. So these guys are going to be moving around this mile-and-a-half track today.
Let's have a look at some of these drivers as well. Hopefully we don't drop sound. No, we got sound. So some of the drivers here, Kobe, that's his VR headset on the top left. Dan Stevens in top right, and Chop, his view down there on the bottom. We'll cut to a couple of them drivers throughout the race, Derek. But some of them setups. We got 3 different views from 3 different drivers here tonight.
Well, that's great. Hopefully these drivers can put it in position and go for that $50 today.
Get some of their a look from their perspective throughout the night. Well, we're gridding up. We're just about ready to go. Round 1. No break in between either, Derek. Surprising. Straight into it. No rest for the wicked, I think we were saying. We finished up the championship last week, and we're here. Round 1. Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Jai Schultz at that time. He will start alongside Andy Barber. Henry Fenson and Darren McKenzie will have the second row of the field. Jason Holdsworth and Tom Pritchard will have the third row. Fourth row, Aidan Schulz and Dave Douglas. Fifth, Adam Malone and Riley Curtis. Top 10 qualifying positions. Chris Tomlin, and he'll start alongside his teammate in Kobe Jordan back there on the 6th row. 7th row, Stevens and Kenny. Craig Roffey and Richie Tremarco will have the 8th row. Luke Crum starting in 17th, Tony Roffey in 19th, Maxie Marshall and Gosley. That rounds out your top 20. A few big names not present in the top 20 as Shane Mallow and Nigel Patton 21st and 22nd. Denny Vassell and Dyson 23rd and 24 position. Shout out to all the drivers that signed up for this series. It's going to be worth it. It's going to be a big series. Series 3. Can you believe it? Greg Spencer and Glenn Klein will start alongside each other. That's the 13th row. Ryan Barber jumps out of the commentary and jumps out of the race control for this series. He's behind the wheel. He'll start alongside Nicholas Walsh, Steve Hoppett, and Nigel Seidel. Good to see Steve out on track this season. Alex Smith and Finlay. Matt Patton and Cade Donnelly will start alongside each other. Troy Davison and Todd Maxfield. That's your top 36 positions. We're all ready to go around. And on our warm-up lap, Troy Davison, Maxfield, 36. I read them out. Dwayne Priest, Aaron Dillon, and Noddy Tompkins. 39 trucks to open up this series, Derek. 39 trucks that each want to win.
Everybody wants a little crack at it. You know what? I would not count out the guys at the back. I mean, it could be part of their strategy. It's anybody's game. It's super speedway racing. Let's get it going.
Let's get it going, all right. What's Jai Schultz going to do? Remember, the Geico restart zone is in play again this season.
He's got some help around him. So I mean, it's anybody's question. I think he's gonna play it right. He's gonna make the right move. He's gonna work with guys that he's familiar with.
That's the beauty of super speedways, getting off the restart, getting started, and then clicking over laps, being there at the end. Josh Schultz has the field. Geico restart zone's there. Waits, we're gone. I think green, the green flag, may have brought us to green for the opening round. Andy Barber, good start from him. He'll start on the high line. Josh Schultz down the bottom, and we're off and running. Season 3, the Skypoynt NASCAR trucks. Derek, and 2x2, we're going to see a lot to that tonight.
Absolutely. It's going to be a multi-group racetrack, like we said earlier. It's going to be trucks all over the place, fighting for position, moving back, moving forward, just kind of trying to set themselves up for the big ending. So, I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of trucks moving back and forth throughout this race, trying to find their friends, trying to find their company that they want to take to the big dance and make it all the way to lap 100.
Well, that's it. I think at lap 100 we're going to have a better idea what's what and who's who as the front guys go through, and side by side they've gone down to the bottom line as Andy Barber and a couple of the other boys are starting to push up. Dave Douglas, number 1 on his truck, he's had a good start back in 9 as we keep moving a little bit further through the field. It's all status quo at the minute, pretty much holding line where we qualified. Good way to start this series at the minute. Can you believe it? Lap 3 of 130 already.
Yeah, everybody's being patient. Absolutely, like you said. Somebody just got loose there, but everybody's trying to find their ways, staying patient.
We got an incident a little bit further back. I think the Sim boys are involved. A little bit of friendly fire. We stay green though. I'll have to try and get a replay. Sorry for talking over. You there, mate.
Okay. That's okay. It looks like they're going to be able to be okay. They're back on track and ready to roll. So good for them.
Probably just lose a little bit of positions there, but wow, that's the quality of the field. We keep talking about it. A little bit of that could have been way worse because he was all but straight.
Yeah, here we are, 2x2, all the way back. At least 15 rows, and that's quality racing there. Everybody's just being patient, just kind of finding their place, finding their dance partners. I see a lot of team colors there working with each other. You see that what I'm seeing here, Peter? A lot of same colored trucks side by side or front to back trying to find their way through the field.
Yeah, and I've called that in a couple of races now where it's you find your colors, and we're seeing it now, and that's because there's a big showing of teams. So if we have a look at the front while we watch these front guys here, Aidan Schulz, Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard, Andy Barber, Adam Malone, all them drivers in the top 8, and they're all in the same team. And then you move down to I think we got a big showing from Pinnacle and the drivers like that. So the team colours, if you think it looks good now, wait until the last 10 when we're at the big dance, Derek, because, well, it's just going to be spot the different team. I think there's only probably around about 16 different teams in a field of 43.
Yep, and they're going to be moving back and forth. I mean, just because of the Skypoynt guys are running up front now, that's going to change, and they all know that. There's going to be a lot of pitch drivers in play. So this is basically a big dance. This is kind of showing your true colors, showing what your truck's made of, and just trying to size everybody up, where they're at compared to yourself.
It's about sitting where you're comfortable as well. Everyone of these drivers, they well and truly know where they like sitting in the race, and it's all about gut feeling as well. Tom Pritchard, one of the better blokes to have around you in a super speedway type situation, because he's got a really good sense of reading when everything's going to go bad. So watch that number 5. If he pulls back, we know we're going to get close to a caution period. But Darren McKenzie started to fall back a little bit on that high line. Rear right as well will move away, and you'll get loose on the exit of especially 1 and 2, Derek. So watch for that high line to be a little bit more vigilant at the end of a tyre life.
Yeah, what's going to really happen here at Atlanta is if you're not necessarily getting a lot of tire wear, you're getting tire heat. These trucks are really putting a lot of downforce on that left rear and that right front. So It's all about trying to conserve and keep those tires a little bit cooler, not overcooking them. Because it's not about your wear, it's about the heat in those tires, which basically makes the truck feel really, really loose.
Let's have a look at these tracks. Lap 10 of 30, or 130 rather, a lot more than 30, Pete. And while they're close together, let's have a listen to these NASCAR trucks for the first time this season. The Skypoynt crank it up. Let's enjoy this. Come back, Derek, we're still 2x2 status quo. Jai Schultz still leads down the bottom. Aiden, Jai up the front. Who's going to be the better Schultz? And well, we couldn't have asked for a better start.
Oh no, it's going green. Everybody's just kind of finding their place. Like we said, just settling in, running their race. You know, it's early. It's only lap 14 out of 130. I mean, they haven't even got their feet wet yet. So it's going to be in for the long haul.
Let's have a look at some.
But they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing right now. Is just kind of finding the zone, just kind of being consistent, taking care of their equipment, and finding their partners to dance with. That's what they should be doing right now, and that's what it looks like most of the better are doing, finding their teammates.
Work together, find their teammates. At lap 15 and 130. Probably still looking at around about, oh, they're 3 wide. Oh, that was Daniel Stevens, is it?
He's pushing the envelope there, still running 3 wide. You know, this racetrack, you can do it. You can do it 3 wide here, but you know, you just got to pick and choose the right time. Lap 16 of 130, this might not be that time.
You want to be comfortable
with contact. We got a little contact. You got to,
Oh, this is going to bring out the yellow. It's a big wreck by the look of that. By the look of that, I think
there's nowhere to go. I mean, you have nowhere to go, and once it starts happening, you're just piling them up.
Let's jump back up the front with these guys. Anyway, we'll try and unpack that, and I'll dig out a Skypoynt replay for us. But well, there's no room here at Atlanta. I think you just said that, mate. There's once it goes, you're just a passenger, and I think it's more important to get them 50-50 calls right. Do you go left or do you go right?
That's exactly it. Sometimes you just gotta pick one and go.
Let's have a look. Nicholas Walsh was into the wall up here, or got a little bit loose. Anyway, let's go have a look at a Skypoynt replay and let's see what happened. And go high in the air, and we'll try and slow it down just a little bit. Oh, he bounced off the wall, didn't he? And then there was just a ripple effect. And then, have a look at that. All them drivers innocent. We got a car or truck parked in the catch fence as well. So
there it is. That's 15 trucks right then and there. You know, hopefully, you know, a lot of them guys got slowed down enough to conserve that damage, you know, and only have as minimal, you know. But that was a big pile up there. At least 15 drivers in that crash there. And
I think if I've seen it correctly, we may even be able to get another look at it. Derek, but it looked like just a single truck just getting a little bit loose and firing himself off into the wall, and that's what caused that one. So unlucky, because 14 and then 15, what I just seen, were nothing to do with the incident. They were just wrong place, wrong time.
I know all about that. Sometimes it just, it's sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Sometimes it just falls that way.
Well, luck. We talk about luck a lot at super speedways because, well, it's true. You need a lot of it. Let's ride on board. Let's ride on board with one of these Ryan Barber as we grab that replay of. This is one of the secondary incidents that happened through this. Full speed. Can't see anything. Oh, we see smoke. He knows where to go. Oh.
I mean, and he did absolutely nothing wrong. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. He held his line, and he had nowhere else to go. I mean, he was surrounded on both sides. He did exactly what he's supposed to do. So, kudos to him. It's just too bad that happened to damage his race truck this afternoon. So, hopefully he can get that fixed and repaired and be out there, not lose too many laps.
Well, actually, I think I did take note of that. He was on like you said, he didn't do anything wrong. He tried to pull it up. He held his line, and I think even though he got hit and then turned, or he hit that truck first and then got turned, I think he would have minimum damage out of that because it looked relatively soft. I know these trucks are fairly fragile, but I think he might have got away with one. He'll go a lap or two down, as I think that's Skypoynt truck now, just making his way underneath that red line. But lights are still on. Probably going to get another 2 laps under caution, Derek, but we had about 17 laps of green, so good start, and there was some good driving on display, and it's just something to go by for the rest of the season. I think it's going to be a top season.
Absolutely, and these trucks out here are just trying to get a feel for their setup. Just trying to see if they got it. If they're kind of set up for the longer run and set up for the shorter run. 17 laps is about a mid-range judgment. So these kind of guys are going in. Maybe they may do a pit stop to do a little adjustment, wedge adjustment, tire pressure adjustment, something like that. Just to kind of get their truck dialed up, for the next run of this race.
And it's all about in sections as well. They got a free pass there, being able to pit under caution period there, 19 laps. So you could almost say that no one would have got tyres with that. It looking at them times, it's probably around about a 39 or 40 second stop for them. You're not going to get tyres, not even working sides done here, are you, mate? But I think you're probably changing once throughout the race if you're under yellow. Lights are out here. The safety truck, or safety car rather. Jai Schultz and lap 20. Jai Schultz and Aiden Schultz and Darren McKenzie, 3 Southern Stars there, and 2 Skypoints.
Now look to see how that plays out there, Peter, because they got 3 trucks lined up working together up front, and with Jai Schultz there in the front. So that's this could be something to develop. Maybe we get a little bit of a breakaway here.
Well, Jai will probably call Aiden, Tom and Andy through. That's your bottom line. And so early in the race, you don't often see a 5-line train or 4-line train of teammates or close to being teammates. Do you, Derek? But that's a benefit right from the get-go. They'll call themselves down and watch the low line, leave room for the 52 to come down.
Absolutely, it's working in their benefit. I mean, even if you're not on the same team, but you can work well with another team, that's always in your benefit to have, because as long as you can be cordial and look out for them, they're always going to look out for you too, and and have your best race at mine too as well. So having friends is a lot better than having enemies out there on the track.
Well, Jai Schultz, he's let go. He's actually left the whole field. Has he gone early to allow Aiden Schultz in? Aiden Schultz, he follows Jai off that restart. He doesn't, in fact, come down, and he's run out of room now. The 110 of Henry Fenson is going to start to push up as we go 3 wide early on. Aiden Schultz looks to be dropping down after this restart.
Yeah, just didn't quite leave enough room to get down. So we're going to be seeing 3 wide here going into turn 3.
Adam Malone picks up his teammate there, so they're going to go around. I think I'll tell you that that 93 truck of Riley Curtis is really on a charge after that restart.
Absolutely, he's got the momentum. He wants to keep running, pushing up front. So we're counting him. That's up front is a safe place to be.
Andrew Dyson's another one of them trucks that's pushing. He's going with Dave Douglas. So they're controlling the high line while teams control the low line. Henry Fenson tucked in there as well. So Jai Schultz comfortable in 4th at the moment. Out in front here, you're going to be using a lot more fuel. Is it going to be something we're going to see throughout the race where people are going to spend their time drafting, mate? Because it's super speedway-ish, but does it cover over that characteristic?
Oh, absolutely. You're gonna see this all night long, and you're gonna see just like we're seeing now here. Oops, Giant Schultz gets out. We're like, oh boy.
Oh no,
we got contact. Looks like he saved it. Good for him. But yeah, you're gonna see that front to back racing pretty much all night. You're gonna see double lines, people trying to move up, or even as well move backwards. Just to try to find their dance partners, the fellas that they want to work with.
Well, we've seen Jai Schultz just have a little bit of a moment there. Easy to do, as I think the tyres may be starting to have some effect. I'm not too sure if it's too early, but that high line definitely getting a little bit squirrely, as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, but more looking like a single line of stern track at the minute. Wait until it rubbers up. I think we'll go back to double, but Benson stranded on the high line.
Yeah, absolutely. We just had that caution there lap 19, and what happens is, we ran a lot of hot laps there, then we pulled the tires off. So now they're trying to get those tires back up to even temperature again. So that's probably what happened to Jai Schultz there. Just got a little bit loose there coming off the corner.
Darren McKenzie leads the charge at the moment. They're all getting a chance to win it. Remember, a bonus point is up for grabs for leading a lap, so these guys will be working in tandem to let their team to have a crack at that. It's all about working as a team, getting the points at the end. Remember, the slate is wiped clean. I tell you, I didn't mean to make any of that rhyme, but it did, so good on me for that one. But up at the front, we're starting to have a look at this high line to working out again. I thought we were going back to a one-line track. As soon as I say that, we're back to 2, but these front probably 8 or 10 drivers, they're really hungry.
Yeah, and you see that high line definitely making the momentum right now. It definitely has the surge moving forward. You just seen a few cars jump up, a few trucks, jump up from the bottom to the top to get that white lane, more momentum. Try to get around these southern car boys down there on the bottom.
Well, we've seen the Sim boys do it all season, almost part of the season. We got a car wide. That is, I think the 212. That was Tomlin. Oh, that was a good save. Tomlin overcooked his rears. He got a little bit loose there. And look at them drivers behind him. Oh, he's ping pong.
Yeah.
What would Adam Balone just have been thinking there? He would have been like, chop, I'm there. But regathers it. Now it's time for Christopher Tomlin now just to regather his mental thoughts and also cool down them tyres, because that was a big moment there, and that's probably about 3 big moments we've seen, and good bit of driving to catch it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just fall back in line, bump that brake bias to the rear, just a couple clicks, a little bit of handling help there, and he should be able to move right back on up in the position there, because I think he's about to steam the file back out, so that'll be him grab right on back up into the pack and continue.
Mackenzie, Fenson, Pritchard, Stevens, and Roffey. That's your top 5. And the high line, as you just mentioned, led by Fenson, starting to work in together now. What they want to do, if they're confident, and these guys are good enough to do it here on iRacing, is really get down now, get close to that bottom line and try and parachute. I think we use in the world of oval racing, parachute the bottom line and really get the momentum.
Yeah, they're trying to work that side draft. The draft back definitely plays a big factor in. You can kind of see these guys kind of pull down and then pull away, pull down and then pull away. That's basically these guys working that side draft to the best effect that they possibly can to get the most momentum. Looks like the top side has all the momentum right now, and the bottom is stalling out.
Yeah, it looks good as they start to move away. Roffey, who was that? I think that was Craig Roffey. He stuck it down there for a long time. You don't want to get out of the draft at any time because there's no loyalty, is there? Derek, do you think that you may be flying high as we see the 0.5 of Barber just below the red line, letting the lead pack through, so he's going to fall a lap down, but you don't want to get out of the draft. What I was just saying, Derek, is because if you just slip a little bit high, the guy behind you is going to take that spot and leave you, and just leave you wishing.
Absolutely. If he's not a friend, he's definitely going to be a foe. He's not going to want to give that spot. So if you lose it, plan on having to earn it right on back.
Henry Fenton now drops down in the high line after a big moment up on the on the bottom line after a big moment on the high line. Got the rear a little bit loose. Lap 33 of 130. No one's used their tyres yet. And we're probably going into a window in around about 10 laps time, so that'll be quite evident, won't it, Derek? We'll feed into single line as people want to pit, but a couple of drivers going down on the lead lap, but most of them, I think, what have we still got, around about 22 trucks on the lead lap?
And this is going to create a 3-wide situation here, so, we got trucks going, hopefully they'll be able to, move around and not get into harm's way. That way everybody stays safe. But we're going to be running 3 wide trying to get around this traffic here. He did the right thing. Because Atlanta's a very difficult track. There's just not a lot of room. So
we just seen a couple of trucks now just drop underneath that red line and take themselves out of the heat. It's easy to get out of strategy here when your tyres are having a little bit of a hard time keeping traction. Big moment for Tom Pritchard.
110 there, a little loose there on the apron. So
look at this, we fan out 6 wide almost. We start to merge back in. So these tyres, I suggest these tyres are gone, and we may even see pit stops come earlier than what we expect.
Absolutely, Peter. Green flag pit stops are pretty much going to be happening at any minute now. I mean, these guys are basically gambling right now, especially pushing it 3-4 wide even. I mean, they're going to want to get in, get that fresh rubber, get that fresh tank of fuel, get that weight in the truck, keep that thing on the ground and flying down the track. So I would expect within the next 2 to 3 laps you're going to see some pit stops.
You just can't keep going on. You got to watch your lap times and your lap speeds. We got another truck down. That's Tom Pritchard. He was loose. I can't even grab him. He's moving down the field that quick. So
absolutely. He gathered it up. But I would expect Tom to probably come in once he sees that he's having a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, we'll see. We might even try and get him in the box if he goes down the lane, or actually he's going around single line astern. It's probably not the best time to do it, but what is the best time to do it? I want to get a live feel of what's happening out on the track at the minute.
What's going on? What's going on is he's losing time. He's lost the draft. He's trying to find a helper, a dance partner, to be able to make those speeds back up. So hopefully he can catch back on to the end of this tail line here and be able to be going right back on it.
Well, he is catching back up at lap 38 of 130. Sorry, Tom, to bring you in just after a little bit of a moment there. How's the track feel out there, mate?
Holy dooly, this is, she's a slippery track, I can tell you. It's, it's certainly white knuckle riding it around here. It's, it's all sorts of good fun. But, nearly had a lose there and managed to save it somehow. But hopefully, don't do that too many times because I'll blow him a little hard off.
Yeah, I'll tell you, sorry, Derek, we've been watching you as you're going through, and I just wanted to get a live feel of what's happening out there. But the tyres are definitely going. Do you think it's the right rear?
Yeah, I think definitely. Well, I'm just talking to the boys. I think we've put a little bit too much air pressure in the right rear tyre, so we're going to come in and make a change in the next stop and just dump a bit of air out of these tyres because as the tyres heat up, it's getting really, really loose. So holding it together is the biggest challenge. So my job right now is to try and just stay with this pack, not spin and not get caught up in anything until we get a pace car, and then we'll get some new shoes on it, and we'll be back underway.
Righto, mate. Derek, is there anything you'd like to add to Tom and pick his brain for what we got in before we throw him back in?
Yeah, Tom, what do you think? You think it's a multi-group track at the moment? You'll be able to work both lines, top and bottom, and the middle?
It definitely is. It's just that, you just can't quite go, certainly with the setup we've got at the moment, we can't go flat out all the way around when you're in the draft. So cars are just getting loose, and it's just about, making sure you don't completely turn around. So, look, we got two lines going at the moment in the pack, but I'm just sitting just off the back of the pack, partly as well, so that if someone does have a lose, I don't come by and make a mess out of themselves. So, it's going to be, it's looking pretty sketchy up the front here, so we'll see how we go, but hopefully pace car is on its way soon because I need some new shoes.
Absolutely. Well, stay safe out there. Hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of the race here.
Rightio. Thanks, boys.
Thank you.
Righto, mate. I'll throw you back in with your team. Wish him good luck, and keep that right rear off the wall.
Yeah, thank you.
Tom Pritchard, one of the league organisers here, and also director of Skypoynt, so naming right sponsor. Shout out again to Skypoynt for coming on board. So a little bit loose. Even the Super Speedway King, I think we call him, Derek, has a move here. A little bit caught off guard. He wants a caution period. Funny to find that out, as even Dave Douglas and Williams there. Dyson losing the right.
The funny thing is, you always want a caution, but it never comes, So, but it looks like we have a good battle up front here. About a good battle, about 12, 13 cars running top and bottom line here.
Yeah, that high line's only consists of two trucks now, and that's Dyson and Douglas. They've run around with each other for a while. A little bit further back, that high line is there, led by Aidan Schulz. I wonder if he was trying to get up beside Darren McKenzie, because Darren McKenzie's on the low line. Sim boys are plenty down the bottom, and we're starting to split up the packs a little bit, as we see, but Fenson getting a little bit wide now, so everyone praying for a caution period.
Yeah, I've seen a few trucks, go down pit lane. I mean, it's anybody's, it's about that time, So people are just trying to find their way.
We're going caution. Caution number 2 here tonight. I wonder what happened. We're focusing on that front crew, weren't we? I think possibly Glenn Klein leaving
pit lane.
Pit lane has done something here. Let's have a look. Go back on a Skypoint replay. That's what I've just picked up as well. Glenn Klein just leaving pit road. We'll jump up in the air. We'll have a look. May have got a little bit loose, but I think the yellow flag was just fell briefly after this. So we'll right on board Skypoint replay. Caution comes. We're just saying, caution comes when people want it. Usually that's not the case, as we still ride on board the Skypoint replay here. There's caution period come out here. I'm not too sure. Maybe an engine expulsion.
He's come into traffic here, it looks like.
Yeah, we'll stay on board this, so he stays low. Oh no, the 5's going to go under. No, and he's pushed him up. Oh,
just didn't give enough room. That's too bad for. I believe that's in New Barber. 5 truck.
Yeah, I think there was 2 Southern Stars boys involved in that one. Busy pit road as expected. But yeah, unlucky for Southern Stars. I think the 5 went down underneath, seen the car just going up a little bit, and tried to go underneath, and the guy, well, this is what I was talking about before. If you slide up high, that line's gone. So you got to be careful when you drop back down there, and then he's flicked up that car that's hit him. He's gathered it, but flicked up a car into his teammate, and then, well, both of them got involved after that one. But a couple of drivers to stay out, mate.
Yeah, nobody likes to see that. That's unfortunate, especially on lap 40 out of 130. Hopefully they'll be able to get that truck fixed and get back out on the track and get some good laps in and not too much damage and too much loss of power on the trucks. So.
Daniel Stevens stayed out. He pit on lap 17. The only driver not to come in. Do you think he's just caught out there, or do you think surely that's going to catch him out? I don't think that has any benefit now staying out, or did he change tyres in the first stop? I suppose there's a million questions.
Yeah, we'd have to see what his last, did he pit on the last yellow or not? I mean, basically, looking at his lap times, his lap times seem to be pretty good. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't worry too much because we didn't have that yellow. As long as he did come down and grab fresh rubber. You don't want to grab too much fresh rubber back to back, on those cautions. That way you won't have any at the end. So.
Yeah, let's see what happens. They start to form up, so that means one to green. 2 cautions, 49 laps. We're still not halfway. The strategies now are starting to sort of play out, aren't they, Derek? But a couple of teams, they've just found themselves having to regroup. But, well, it's still about the ticket, buying your way to the end, being on that magical lead lap that we still have 25 cars, I believe, still on that lead lap. So 15 drivers off the lead lap at the minute, 25 still. So you can get your lead lap by a lucky dog as well, can't you?
Yep.
Derek?
Yeah, absolutely. It's unfortunate we have that big pile up. I mean, that's where pretty much most of these trucks went a lap down. So, unfortunate for them. But hopefully with the lucky dog, maybe another caution or two, some of those guys will get the lap back and be right back in the thick of it.
Daniel Stevens, his bottom line. He's going to lead us to green. Geico's restart zone is in play. We'll try and get a better look at it than from the other ones we did. Pace trucks peeled off. Geico restart zone is coming up. He's gone now, I think around about halfway through. A little bit sluggish off the start, though, for the first probably 5 or 6. Good jump for Stevens, and then the battle's on in the middle.
Right, he left kind of Greg Rocky there sleeping down there on the bottom line. So hopefully he'll be able to get something back up and get that bottom line.
Well, we're back underway. Opening round of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Daniel Stevens, after a good restart, gets us back under green as we have a look at some of these pitches coming through here. And what a good start. Let's crank it up. NASCAR Trucks at their full on at their best. So you see them all just starting off where they left off before we went caution flag there. Derek, good start. That high line has to fight again, and 52 of 130. The tyres now should be all refresh for some of these guys. Daniel Stevens, though, holding on to tyres and everything at the moment. So his strategy is paying off at the moment. He last come down pit road, lap 17, 30 laps short of the rest of the field.
Yeah, that bottom line is definitely going to have the momentum. See how, definitely got a huge gap in that top line. So, as long as that bottom line can keep that momentum, keep the cars being somewhat close to each other, they're going to be able to move forward. And that top line is going to eventually end up stalling out a little bit. But it looks like Dave Douglas is up front there, getting a good push from the 14. So they're giving it a real hard battle. Looks like he might even actually take the lead here.
Well, Dave Douglas is leading that high line. He has now triggered the leader of this race at the moment at lap 54. Remember, these guys are doing 30-second lap time, so that lap count is going to count over pretty quickly. Stevens, Douglas, they're leading. Look at that bump from Dyson. Remember, these guys, one of the or two of the fastest oval racers on iRacing, in my opinion, leading that high line. And don't forget, Darren McKenzie, nothing to sneeze at the 02 Southern Stars. He can really push as well, and having someone behind you like McKenzie, that would have some confidence for these guys as well. If you look in the mirror and you've got McKenzie, but these guys starting to get high off the exit. I think that's 2.
Oh yeah, they're starting to kind of, they're kind of starting to set themselves up in position. We're at lap 55 out of 130. They're basically we're about the halfway point. So they're kind of basically getting into position here. But basically, this is about go time.
I've just realised too, we've got Dan Stevens in the webcams while he's leading this race. We might as well have a look and see what it looks like behind the wheel of his rig at the minute. It's got a pretty good setup too. I'd like to add Daniel Stevens leading that low line at the minute. We don't lose sound, no. Look at that setup for monitors, and this is what leading this race looks like.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling it. Definitely putting on a good show there. That bottom line's definitely starting to get some surge here, holding off that top line with Dave Douglas and number 14, I believe. So hopefully they can keep it together, keep locked up. It looks like we're 3 wide.
Yeah, I think that's just a truck just pulling out, but yeah, look at that. Very small wheel inputs I've noticed as well.
Oh, we got an accident. We got a crash.
Let's go back to full screen now. Who's involved in that crash? I didn't see that. Glenn Klein. No, sorry, Glenn just blamed you for the second one as well. Andy Barber's involved in this crash here. Let's go back here and try and unpack this.
Get the break. That's the second one for the afternoon. Andy Barber's got to be frustrated with the team already this time.
Well, let's see what happens here. So he's got his teammates behind him. There's a run from the car under now the truck underneath the 41. Oh, pushes him up high. Big damage for the 5. His teammates get through, positive out of a negative, and have a look at that. I think that's his son, drives past him there in the truck. Well, I tell you, luck. You need luck, and luck is not on Andy Barber's side. Let's have another look at that. I know you don't really want to have a look, but I think best just run straight on board and from the same thing with Andy and have a look.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what happened was he kind of got clipped in the left rear quarter panel here. So let's kind of take a look here and see what Andy Barber actually saw.
Oh. The run was there too. The run was there, just not clear.
It's unfortunate for Andy Barber. I hate to see it happen. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's not happy. I can almost guarantee you. So that's probably wreck number 2 for him. So his truck's probably onto the camper.
Got a lucky dog going high. I think that was one of the Sim boys, Darren McKenzie, Aiden Schulz. I think they had front row seats to that, so that'd be in chat right now with him and seeing what they can do.
Look at this lineup. What do you think What do you think happened here? Peter, would you have taken tires here at lap 60?
I was actually just
think about that?
I was just about to ask you the same question because I noticed that the pit road was being the operative word, was very busy. Half the field have stayed out. So we've got the top 5 have stayed out. and then pretty much the majority of the field came back in. Now you can almost bet you know what, the top 5 changed tyre last stop, so they're good to go to the end. The guys that have come down pit road, probably, I don't know, is that a mistake fixed? Putting a new set of boots on. Not too sure, but them front guys, you can bet they wouldn't be running on old rubber, because that's just going to eat them up. I think them Southern Stars, I think they've got fresh rubber and they're ready to go. Remember, a 2-stopper here and for fuel, so we've already seen 2 stops today for tyres, so tyres over fuel.
You know, it's a strategy play. You know, all drivers right now thinking, what's it going to take to get me to the end? Whether it's tires, whether it's fuel management, you know, they're getting onto their crew chiefs and they're asking their crew chief, what do I need to do? Where do I need to be to make it to the end? That's basically what they're asking right now, and they're trying to come up with that plan, especially at lap 61 out of 130. And you know, we're at the halfway point almost. You know, so it's time to get yourself into position. You know, with a lot of trucks left in the field, you know, it could be anybody's race.
There is a lot of trucks left out on the field. You could probably say close to 28 trucks on the lead. No, what are we, 60? No, so 23 trucks on the lead lap. Took me about 5 goes to get that out. So we've dropped a couple more. Remember we had 25 last caution, so we dropped another 2. Pace truck peels off, and Darren McKenzie, when's he going to go? We've been going and around about in between the start and finish of the restart zone. We're gone. He's counted his teammate in. The 52 has the high line, Darren McKenzie the low line. Good start from them. And have a look at this bottom line. It's just got caught napping. I think Kobe Jordan, I'm not too sure how his tyre life is, but have a look at Dyson up the inside of the restart. Pulls back in the high line though.
Yeah, both lines are definitely surging at the moment. You know, everybody's trying to find their dance partner. You know, trying to get linked up with, you know, who they feel comfortable with. So, you know, you see, you know, a couple teammates here and there. So, you know, it's definitely, it's just basically a nice big game of chess. A lot of moving pieces.
Darren McKenzie, Tom Pritchard now lead the high line. We've seen that. Remember the last round of the Season 2 Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, where we had 4 Sim boys leading the first 2 rows. We're now having a look. We've got 3 out of the top 4 Southern Stars or Skypoynt. Remember, that's a team of pretty much, you know, 2 names but the same drivers. So there's now controlling this with Dave Douglas and Dyson just behind. This can also play into part, can't it, Derek? Just getting into the mind games and getting that impatience out of your competitors. And Dave Douglas and Andrew Dyson, although they're good drivers, I think have been caught out from going a little bit too early sometimes. So maybe this is a ploy of just checking them up here and getting them to go a little bit early and trying to get them to force an error.
You know, what these drivers need to remember is patience. I mean, we're only at lap 65 out of 130, 50% of the way right now. So, you know, we've still got tons of time. So a lot of laps to go. So, you know, what they need to do is they need to get in, get comfortable, find a partner, and ride. You know, conserve your equipment. You cannot praise, you know, enough about that. Conserve your equipment. You know, that way you can definitely be there at the end. You know, if you're burning your stuff up, you know, you're not going to end up being there. So it's better to be there than not be there. So
that's exactly right. And just because we got 4 sets doesn't mean you want to use them. That might have been a little bit of a something from the admin when they set it up, Derek, because, well, it'd be nice to have 4 clean sets, but is that going to do you in strategy and time? It takes ages in these these trucks to change your tyres as well as get a full service. So I think that was a little something from the admins there, because I don't believe you'll see anyone use more than half their sets of tyres.
You know, it's all, you know, it all plays down to, you know, pit strategy, you know, when they come in, you know, is it just for fuel only, wedge adjustment, tire pressure adjustment, so on and so forth. So, you know, it's it's anybody's guess, you know. But I would say, you know, if it comes down to it, I'd rather use them all than leave them there, you know.
Well, if
Might
that
as well use
means,
them if you got them.
yeah, well that's it. Actually, I didn't think of it like that, mate. I was just thinking of it in time. But I suppose if we get plenty of cautions right when they matter, remember this. It seems to have done it tonight, hasn't it? It's got the cautions.
Yeah.
When it matters.
You know,
so let's see if that continues.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if we get another caution, you know, relatively soon if they don't come in and take that 30 set. So, you know, I would be a little weary to see, you know, how many do and how many don't, you know, depending on each of those strategies. So, you know, these guys are running good lap times, running pretty consistent, you know, so it looks like everybody's in pretty decent shape at the moment. So, other than the blinking car there on the bottom.
And that just adds another thing to it. You don't want a blinky car down on the bottom. One thing we haven't even touched on tonight is track conditions. I've just thrown up the weather. 28 degrees, so not bad conditions here, and it's an early morning race here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. So 8:30 in the morning at about 30 degrees. That's not bad conditions for racing.
Absolutely.
Mackenzie, Pritchard, Schulz, Douglas still leads at the minute. We've still got two lines going. The 0-2-3 of Davison drops down to the bottom line. High line will come into effect, I think, and probably have its benefits later on in the race. Derek, what is your thoughts on that? I did hear, you know, whispers before it went on.
I'm a firm believer in the high line. You just got to have enough trucks up there to make it work, and you got to stick with it. You can't give up on it. You know, like Dave Douglas and his partner in the 14, they've been on that high line pretty much all afternoon long. So they are committed to that line. You know, you can't give up on it. You got to get the competitors up there. You know, make sure that you get that balance between bottom and top line to make that top line work and surge forward, because it will. It's definitely the faster line around the track, but just obviously not the shortest.
So let's see what happens as the race progresses, as the 6 is maintaining the lead up there. Getting a little bit squirrely too is the 6, and I can tell you that the number 1 of Douglas, he won't be shy to let him know he's there. Give him a little bit of a bump down the straight. We do have I think the 05 of Ryan Barber up the front of this field as well, so have a look out for lap traffic to start to come into effect. I did think I've seen a car. We do have a group of cars up here. Let's try and work out who that is, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a Southern Stars car in there. No. No, for short. He actually is a little bit up the road, but not that we're going to have to look at that in any.
I think he's enough to link up with the 15 truck.
Yeah, well that's it. You can do that. 2's better than 1, isn't it? A big group is better. A big group is perfect conditions. 2's better than 1 though. Highline's still working, and Tom's still pushing with it. A couple of battle wounded cars out here, but not too many incidents. Lap 75 or 130. We're now over, well, a fair way into the second half of this race now. Highline, I think, should start to come in and around about 10 laps with the perseverance, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. They just need to tighten it up. You see how a lot of the trucks are now abandoning the high line, going back down on the bottom. So, you know, it's whichever line has the momentum. You just kind of got to pick one and stick with it and not leave the gaps. And that's why you see one line falling back or surging forward. Is basically the truck's locked in or not locked together. So,
and I noticed
the faster you can go.
I noticed as well, just by watching a little bit of the in real life trucks on the weekend, I didn't think it was a thing, but Derek, you might be able to answer the question if iRacing has, if it's able to do it in iRacing. But back in the day, or only a couple of years ago, they used to be able to link their bumpers and really push and shove. But it's actually now penalisable offence. Is iRacing, are you able to do that in iRacing, link bumpers and push, or is that not yet implemented?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like, you just don't want to push too hard. You just don't want to hit, you want to hit dead center. You don't want to hit on the right side of that vehicle in front of you. To the wall, on the inside of the barrier. So you want to make sure you're doing it correctly.
I think there's been plenty of bump drafting schools, or schooling rather, throughout the time of doing this, and well, we've pretty much told the viewers or explained to the viewers how to do it, and we've seen how not to do it, but these guys are doing a good job at the minute. And well, if there's one way to start a series, this is the way you want to start, with only 2 cautions and a lot of drivers still on that magic 77 laps, 21 in fact on the lead lap, with a couple still close to it. As we go 3 wide, the 030 too early. Oh no, he's going around here. He's going around.
He's going to save it. No,
yes, we're going to go yellow. We're going to go yellow. 3 wide early on. It can be done, but was it too early?
It was too early to make a move. He kind of got sandwiched in there. He really had nowhere to go. So I can kind of see what happened there. Once we get back to a replay, we'll be able to see clearly, what he was thinking there. But he kind of got forced into that 3 wide situation.
Well, let's have a look at a Skypoint replay, as we'll try and grab him. Here he is here. So yeah, he got squeezed a little bit early. Oh, so it wasn't in fact Craig, it was Tony, I do believe. Okay, we'll go back live. I'll try and pick that up a little bit better. But it was definitely one of them Roffies, 030. I should have looked at the number. It was Craig, in fact. Let's have a look here. Ready?
Let's do it.
See if we can pick it up correctly this time. I wanted to know what happened. So it goes 3 wide, just a little bit, just briefly. Oh, a little bit of ping pong action. 023. Oh, the 923, the 994. Fenson. Good bit of driving from Fenson, and then a good bit of driving from that driver there, not to get caught up. Whoa, there's some good driving there, and some unfortunate driving.
Yep, it just looked like the guy on the bottom just didn't quite give enough room. He kind of slid up the track just a little bit, it looked like, appeared to be. So, and that's an unfortunate incident, and it happens. It's just hopefully it's not race day done and over with for Mr. Roffi, and he can continue on. And
what do we got? So after, we'll probably still have one more stop to go. People would, the drivers now will be waiting for another caution period. One would presume up 23 positions for Andrew Dyson. Last went down pit road under this caution. We've got Junior Ryan Barber wants to have a chat. I'll find him and bring him in, because well, I think he's still out on track and still in it. Ryan, we got you there, mate.
Yeah, mate.
How'd your first race going, mate? I don't know if I've seen too much of you here today. You're still circulating?
Yeah, just trying to stay out on the circuit. Just trying to get to the end of the race, but the engine's pretty damaged, so I don't have pace. 10 laps down, but yeah, I've learned a lesson tonight. I should have avoided the first caution a bit better, and could have been in a better position at the moment now, I guess.
Well, mate, I tell you, hats off to you for having a go with such a competitive field. We got Derek Jacobs in here. I reckon this field to be competitive for you, Derek. So Ryan should take a bit out of that for even having the courage to join in. I'm sure you got some questions to ask.
Absolutely, Ryan. And how does it feel to be in your first NASCAR Truck Series? Being new, coming from the Indy Series, coming over to the Truck Series. What do you think? Are you liking the competition?
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's pretty high-level drivers, especially like everyone's B class. So they've obviously done quite a lot of racing, just officials alone. And there's quite pretty much the whole field is return drivers from the last season. So
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I got one more
really
question for you. I got one more question before we let you go here, going to go green here. But are you listening to your dad?
For the most part, me and him are pretty much both out of contention. He's
Oh, I didn't
more
mean just for
pace
this
than
race. I
anything.
mean, are you getting a lot of knowledge from your dad? Are you learning a lot from him? Or
I definitely watching him
Good.
throughout the last season, a couple seasons that they've had with the trucks. I've definitely covered quite a lot. But for the most part, my team's been helping me out quite a lot with the strategy and putting fuel in the
We're gonna have
car
to cut you
tyres
short,
when
mate.
they
We're gonna
flip.
go green. Sorry, Ryan. Good luck, mate. Concentrate on the start. We'll talk to you in a bit. Had to cut that
Looks
short
like
a little bit there, just so we could concentrate.
Andrew Dyson, Darren McKenzie, Schultz, and Cody Jordan leading this off here.
Yeah, another good restart. Dyson, though, he's made his way to the front. So a good stop from him, 7.2 seconds, around about half. So Dyson probably didn't get tyres. How long's it taken a truck to change tyres? Well, I'm not too sure. Good restart, though. Finding the guys with tyres and without are separating quite quickly.
Oh, you're definitely going to see the difference in pace for sure, between fresh rubber and not. So you're definitely going to be able to tell.
Good restart, Dyson, McKenzie, Schultz, Pritchard. A little bit squirrely there from, I think that was a 16 truck. But all in all, good restart. Remember, we've only had about 4, I think, restarts, or 3 caution periods. So let's hope to get these guys home. One more stop. The 16 is getting loose. Derek, are you watching that? Todd Maxfield.
I'm watching that. He just kind of settled down, get back under control here.
Let's jump on board as well. Let's see if we can catch any of that quick hands. He's up on the high line. Got a little bit of speed difference to his teammate now. What he wants to do, if it's clear, jump down and grab a draft, because it's not looking comfortable that close to the wheel. But he's trying to get down and he can't.
Looks like that bottom line is just starting to run away there.
Yeah, that bottom line, it's been where it's had the speed, but I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for that high line to come in. The top 3 have got it to work. Or the top 3 in the high line. But let's see, Dyson now caught short down the bottom.
And that's going to cost him. With 4 trucks working against 1, they're going to be able to go right on around him, without much of any problem with, I would say, right around this next corner. So, they left the 27 out.
Oh, that's the no loyalty. That's the no loyalty thing I was talking about. If you go high earlier and your line's going to be taken, and it works the other way as well. You can push someone to the lead, and it's only used to up there. I've seen it time and time again. You probably have as well. The front guy, he won't wait for that split second to get in behind as a thank you. He'll just drop down and be like, "See you, mate." And that's the nature of the beast. No friends in racing.
You know what's going to happen is that number 27 is going to remember that. And he's going to. We remember those kind of things, So, it's unfortunately it's one of those situations where they didn't have room for him, but I think the Southern started going to the inside road. Should have probably tagged him along. Should have stayed high just a little bit longer. Cleared that 27 truck, and they would have been off to the races.
Well, now he's in that high line. We know that's going to come in. The bottom line is a little bit shaky as well. Remember, the tyres, Jai's getting a little bit shaky there as well. He's got, I think that's Daniel Stevens behind him. So he's got company there if he wants to push. Let's see what the 57 of Stevens can do. So the 57 and 27. Oh, 287 gets a little bit high. Tyres now definitely coming into play, I should say.
Yeah, tires and definitely trying to work that side draft. If you see him come up like that, definitely trying to take that air, take that momentum away from that faster line.
I think we lost 2 drivers at once there. Ryan Barber just commented, power went out of the race. Oh, that's unfortunate. Unlucky, very unlucky, but The race pushes on lap 9 of 30 or 130. I've wanted it to be a 30-lap race this whole broadcast, haven't I? But no, still got 40 to go. One more pit stop to play out. Derek, do you wait for a caution, or do you just get the shorter stop home and maybe throw on working side to have the speed?
Absolutely. You want to wait till you get yellow if you at all means can. You do not want to try to put green if you can help it. You're going to end up going 2 laps down if you do. So hopefully these guys can keep their trucks under control here, and basically just try to survive. That yellow is going to come eventually. So as long as they can survive, link up with their teammates.
We got a wreck. We got a wreck. 6 is involved. Jai Schultz is involved, Daniel Stevens involved, Dyson's involved. There's the big one here at Atlanta.
It looked like the whole front of the field just got annihilated.
We were just talking them up. We were just giving them praise. A lot of big name drivers taken out of that one. Andrew Dyson was up the front. Jai Schultz was up the front. They're all going to have to visit down pit road, although Jai Schultz, I don't think, fared too badly out of that one. I'll try and pick up a Skypoint replay for us to unpack that one, mate. There's a little bit going on, and we did say that safety car's going to, or the pace truck's going to come out eventually, and, well, here it is. Oh! Not looking, probably just changing some dials, perhaps, but someone's not paying attention where they're driving underneath the apron and just plowed into the back of poor old Jason Holdsworth. The smoke is still billowing out of these damaged vehicles.
It's gonna be good night over for a few of these trucks, unfortunately. That was let's get a better look at that.
We'll go high in the air as well. I'll try and slow it down when it happens. It was definitely up the front of this field. Oh, we're going to miss it here. Oh, Pete with the cameras. Oh, no. Limp you. Oh, okay. It's been third time lucky for me here tonight. So let's have a crack at this again. Yellow flag's out. And we know Tom Pritchard was involved. So let's go here. And here. Stay on this view. A little bit squirrely, try and work this out. Jai Schultz.
Right
Jai
Schultz. Like he just gets loose. He looks like he gets the air taken off of him. Go ahead and rewind that just a little bit.
Oh, I'm definitely not rewinding it, but Jai Schultz just loses the tail into them guys and keeps going. I can grab another look at it as well, and then we'll slow it down from there. It's just I don't know. I don't like doing it. But mate, I can grab it as many times as you want. I know these guys don't want to look at it. Let's have a look.
Yeah, unfortunate incident there. It looks like Jai just got loose there.
Yeah, we'll slow it down a little bit. And unlucky for the 27. We were talking about tyres breaking loose, and oh no, it's just unlucky that a well-known competitor and well-known mates, Tom Pritchard, hit in that, and the back end of his comes down and grabs 093 Simboy, and then he comes back up and hits Dyson as well. Dyson would be lucky if we ride on board. Where's Dyson? If we ride on board with Dyson,
110.
Because Dyson, I do believe, would have got away with this, as we'll go back live. But wow, that's that really gonna hurt a lot of people's track position. Lap 95 of 130, 45 laps to go, or 35 laps to go. This is going to be a green. If it's green, we can get home. So I wonder how many guys put their tyres on 3 green white checkers as well. Do they have that in mind? So if we pit now, I don't think we can get home if we get 3 shots at a green white checker.
Well, you know what? They got a lot of stuff to think about right now. You got damaged trucks all over the field. With 40 laps left to go, it's anybody's race. I mean, we have new leaders back up the front, so it's anybody's ball game here. The next 40 laps or so.
This is what we're talking about. This whole race. This is the ticket that we're talking about. This is super speedway-ish like racing. It's about buying your ticket to the to get home. Darren McKenzie's going to hold that high line. Finlay's going to bring us to green and gone. Kept the 52 napping. He's gone. Good jump for the 104. Schulz and McKenzie got caught napping a little bit. There we go. We got Southern Stars side by side again. Stay side by side. Drop in. Darren McKenzie looks to be dropping in now. So this is about finding your colours, as you've spoke about, Derek. Find your colours, and look at them, they go straight to the high line. So the high line will be coming in now as Roffey goes a little bit high, nearly makes contact. We're going to see 3 wide already.
It's still a little early for 3 wide, hopefully. But that basically making that top group work really nicely, getting everybody synced up and linked up. They're pulling away from that second pack there.
Yeah, Tom Pritchard's involved in that first pack. He's sitting on that high line. Remember, his teammates are out in front at the moment. They're doing a good job. But our top 10, Schulz, McKenzie, Finlay, Stevens, Connolly, Maxfield, Roffey, Patton, Pritchard, and Free. So Pritchard's still in the top 10 for this one. And Jai Schultz, after that one, drops out of the top 10. He's got a nitro driver of Holdsworth to drive around with as well, but it looks like Holdsworth in the 11 has a lot more speed than Jai Schultz after that incident.
I wouldn't count out anybody in the top 20 at this moment in time. I mean, it's still anybody's race. We got 32 laps to go, plenty of time. Let's see who had the right strategy, who can find the right partner, who can make it to the end.
Aiden Schulz now leads this as we check back up the front. Daniel Stevens, I've noticed, is getting really low down to that 52 and that 02 and trying to check him up, trying to slow him down with that side draft. And I think that the key now is, instead of worrying about that, is trying to keep your line as steady as she goes. Both lines look pretty steady as we get an overhead shot of that Derek. So these guys, they know what's needed of them and keeping relatively straight.
Yeah, everybody seems to be nose to tail. You just kind of ride it out here at lap 100. Basically five rows back, 5 rows wide there, 2 wide, until you get back to Tom Pritchard. A few other cars there just trying to hang on to that front lead pack.
You got Dave Douglas. Oh, there he is there. Dave Douglas is one of those drivers trying to hang on to this lead pack. He came down pit road on lap 94 as well, so he's probably the latest to pit is Dave Douglas. Is that a little bit of Wisely Old Fox
Yep.
knowledge in his nose? And he's sitting back there. The track position doesn't look to be at his benefit at the moment. These guys crash out at lap 29. He's straight up the front, and you bet your balls that he's got a good set of rubber under him.
If he has a good set of rubber, he can just lay back, and he knows that he can get a run. Coming back from the rear there, he's got the tail of the draft. He knows he can get a run at any time he wants to take a run. So he's just kind of basically, it's playing kind of cat and mouse. He's trying to set himself up, for the right time to make the right move and find the right person to do it with. So I think that's what he's doing right now. He's just kind of hanging off. We know he's got the pace, so he's just see how he's just kind of floating around back there, just kind of waiting and watching.
Waiting and watching. So a lot of that going on at the moment. 103 out of 130, so 27 to go. Sideways car. That's 110 of Fenson. Oh, mate, he was doing he's having a good job. He finds himself under the apron, all sorts of sideways was Henry Fenson. Makes his way back up onto the track, though. He was doing good job. He was doing a good job, perhaps caught up in that incident.
Yeah, he was caught up in the last incident, unfortunately. So he just got his damage repaired. He's back out on the track. Lots of laps.
He had a great start to the race as well, and Let's see and hope that he can push up a little bit. 26 laps to go with what we're still race pace is around about that 30 and a half second mark, Derek. So the guys are lapping. The draft helps. And is Aiden Schulz using too much fuel out the front? Is that an issue now? I'm not too sure, Derek.
I don't know when the last time Aiden pitted, but you know what? It seems like he's got teammates there, so they can work back and forth if they have to. So I'm not worried about fuel. I'm just going to be worried about keeping those tires cool and not heating them up as much, because I want to make sure that my truck stays nice and tight and glued to that track as I'm going around for these next 26 laps to take this thing home in the victory lane.
Yeah, and he's just sitting back there at the moment and watching Aiden. He's sitting up there at the moment and watching the 57. I can tell you though, Aiden Shields is on strategy with the top 5. He last down pit road 93 as we go 25 to go. Stevens edging out that high line, and it hasn't been there all night, hasn't it? That high line, it's been there and then it goes away. It's been there. That's what I felt like I've watched anyway, Derek. But it looks like it's coming in now.
Yeah, what we're seeing, Peter, is you gotta have. Right now, we're going five by five. So we got 5 trucks on the top, 5 trucks on the bottom. They're basically going to be in a stalemate. They're basically not going to be going forward or pretty much going back. But if you were to add 2 cars to either the top or the bottom, then you're going to start to see that line getting turned forward. Because what's going to happen is the more cars you got in line, the faster you're going to go. So that's what those guys they need to be working on, is trying to figure out, am I going to stay on the top or the bottom, trying to get the numbers. It's basically a numbers game in the trucks right now to be able to see which line's going to be a little bit faster. So if I was to bet right now, it looks like the bottom line eventually is going to start to surge away here.
Strength in numbers, we talk about that a lot, as well as, who was that in number 2? That was Matt Patton, getting all bit of loose on the straight, funnily enough, but maybe a little bit of a bump that he wasn't ready for. Daniel Stevens getting that high line to work. The high line now starting to come in, but they're still lacking that 1 or 2 trucks, as we've just got to briefly go away from this this battle and go check in on some of these other drivers, because, well, there's still some drivers. There's still other drivers we've probably neglected a little bit here tonight, but the 14 truck of Alex Smith is leading this battle away, but it's a little bit out of sequence, I do believe, but these guys still working in tandem rather, and we've got Jason Holdsworth down here as well, so unlucky start to the championship for him, but this battle they're still working to go together, even if they are down in 19th and 20th position.
Anything can happen, Peter. We still got 21 laps to go, coming up on lap 20. There's still a lot of racing left. A lot of things can happen. We got 3 green-white checkers, so we're in for a good finish.
Have a look at the run from Jai Schultz as he's starting to head on up this battle, or one of the battles. That's the battle is actually behind these guys, in front of them, but behind them on the racetrack is what I'm reading, because Jai Schultz is reading in 12th position, Jason Holdsworth in 14th, but on track Holdsworth is ahead of him. So out of sequence trucks now is starting to become a little bit more evident. Up 30 positions, can you believe it, for Matt Patton and Todd Maxfield's the 2 biggest movers of tonight. We go back up the front and check in on them though.
That's a solid run. Working through the field is not an easy task. So great run for those guys tonight. They definitely came with a good truck, and hopefully they have finished this next 19 laps off.
19 laps to go. We're just about there for that buy your ticket, or to redeem your ticket to the end if you're some of these drivers, especially probably the top 15. Derek, let's have a little bit of a break. We'll be standing by just in case something happens. The top 8 of this race looking strong. They're just about there in the place to redeem their ticket. Let's crank it up here at Atlanta, round 1, season 3, Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E-Series. had a bit of a bobble up front. We'll come back with that. With that, Aiden Schulz, the tyres. Look at him now. He's starting to go. Oh, he's out of control. Keep it down there. He's going to check up the whole field. Wow. The tyres now are starting to come into play. I think a few of these guys are caught out by lack of rubber as we stayed green. So good save from Aiden Schulz. Saves the yellow.
Absolutely. You know, I hate to see that happen from running up front to now losing a few positions, but you know what? We still got 15 laps to go. Hopefully he can get that thing back up front and get with his teammate Darren McKenzie. They can make a push for the checker flag.
We got 12 trucks on the lead lap, probably around about 8 that are just about there. The push has come, 14 laps to go. Darren McKenzie, Daniel Stevens, Todd Maxwell. What's happened now though? Darren McKenzie has lost his teammate in Aiden Schulz in all that. Aiden Schulz, after that bit of mistake, is back there in 10th, down 3 from where he qualified. Still though, bottom line, the strength in numbers. Sim Boys will push him all the way. And one driver that is, he's got one teammate with him as well. So the teams, you try and gather yourselves up, don't you, Derek? The teams have been caught short with different members of their teams having a few different issues throughout the night. So have a look at these guys now. About 4 different teams in the top 4 having to work together. Long season, sure it can be done.
Yeah. You know, it's good to make a friend early. You know, give a little bit early. You know, it's all about seeing who you can work with. You know, with 13 laps to go. You know, hopefully, these guys, 5th, 6th position, are going to be there to give a nice little push, for these guys up front. Because believe it or not, these guys up front are going to remember those guys, a race or two down the line, and most definitely pay the favor.
Well, that's racing like that, eh? You can put on the poker face. You can say, "I'm fine. No, it's all good. No, it's all good, mate. I accept your apology 100%." And then the next super speedway you come to, you remember that, and you just drop back in instead of drag him to the front. You don't give him his draft. You overwork him when you get to the short tracks. You overwork him, make him stay down the bottom. So when we say get him back, Derek, we don't mean you just spin him, do we? We mean strategically get him back, and remembering the times that you may have been caught short on the super speedways, and just repay that in spades when we come to the 1.5. So that's going to take a bit before we get there. I can't wait for round 4 once we get back into the short track racing.
There's a saying that we like to say is, you can forgive, but you never forget. Never forget. So you always keep that in the back of your mind. So hopefully some of these guys will be willing to work together here in the last 10 laps to go and push one of these guys to victory lane here. It looks like a great battle between the top 10.
That battle's going to turn into 4 wide across the line. It can fit it. It can fit 4 wide. Are we going to push it? It's going to take probably around about, with those 3 green-white checkers, it's going to probably be on the last push towards the line. Remember, we can have 3 stabs at a green-white checker. I don't think, just by the driving up front, we've really neglected probably 2/3 of the field at the minute, but you can't really take your eyes off you, can you? Because it's all changing.
Absolutely. Everybody's trying to jockey for position, trying to find their partner. I mean, we're coming down to the wire here. It's anybody's race. And it looks like Stevens, McKenzie, Douglas, and Mayfield, are trying to come up with a plan here, trying to look at who's around them, trying to figure out who I'm going to try to make this dance with, because it's about that time to get all this stuff figured out and make a move.
Oh, we got a Roffy. I think that's Craig Roffy up into the wall. So we stay green though, and the guys keep moving on. These top 3, Darren McKenzie is caught short a little bit briefly down that bottom line though. To the rescue, I think that may be Matt Patton, is it, or Kate Donnelly down the bottom. I think it is Todd Maxfield and Matt Patton there. But have a look at this. Now the traffic is coming into play, and they're going to get past them. They need to get past them now. You don't want to be checked up.
Absolutely. Lap traffic's become an issue, and hopefully everybody can stay safe, work their way through, have a little courtesy for the guys trying to make it on the 6 laps left to go. and if we can finish this thing out nice and green and clean.
And look at those sim boys. What we got in the way of sim boys, we got Maxfield. We got Donnelly in there. We got those colours. There's a lot more than what I can see in the timing. But yeah, it's still a grudge match between teams. It's like the cream of the teams right now, isn't it? With the successes of the teams out in front at the moment. That high line now getting a big run across the strike. That high line now looks like it's coming in. Have a look, numbers. 4 on the high, 3 down the bottom. Now they're favouring the high line. It's coming in.
Absolutely. So you're going to have to make a decision pretty soon.
And if you're Stevens right now, do you tow Dave along, or do you drop down in front of Darren McKenzie, Derek?
It's too hard to say, If it was me, I would stay on the high line. I think it's the faster line. It all matters where the numbers are. That's all it is. Now we got lap traffic coming into play, so you're going to be moving and grooving. So hopefully these guys can make it through. Each and every one of them make it through safe.
Oh no, we got Dave Douglas in the wall. Dave Douglas.
Oh, 15, 115. He's going to save it. Oh,
we're going yellow. We're going yellow. That's going to, excuse me.
Green, white, checker, first one. Going on here.
We're into NASCAR overtime, first round, and lap traffic. We were saying they were just about to look at the face truck sideways around the apron. Oh look, even he's getting getting used to that right rear. But we did say that lap traffic is coming into play, and well, he done his best. He just slid a little bit high. That allowed for him to go either side.
It's unfortunate, but hopefully they didn't acquire too much damage there.
So let's have a look. I might go straight up into the chopper cam, and we'll have a look from a couple of these guys' point of view, because it's up the top or out in front when all this happened. So here's this lap car here now. He just slides a little bit high, doesn't know where, a little bit indecisive, and then all of a sudden Darren McKenzie's there. That's the speed difference. Then he clips Dave Douglas. Patton goes around, Dave Douglas into the back of Patton, and the Southern Cross, I think, the Southern Stars, Skypoynt entry, Tom Pritchard gets through on that occasion. But, well, green white checker, first attempt.
Like you said, you wanted 3 green white checkers. Well, here we go. You're probably going to get your first one. So,
with 3 to go, Darren McKenzie, Daniel Stevens, Maxfield, Donnelly, Douglas, Pritchard. They've bought their way to the finish. Aidan Schulz is on the lead lap as well. Dwayne Priest is on the lead lap. Matt Patton involved in that. He's down pit road. Adam Malone is down pit road as well. So a couple of names down there that we don't usually see down there. Jason Holdsworth only completed 121 laps so far. Dyson 125. Greg Spencer 121. Riley Curtis, Maxie Marshall, Kobe Jordan. A lot of these got the names that I'm reading out now there for unfortunate circumstances. So a lot of big names, and names that we don't want to see down there. Not that we want to see any of them down there, Derek, but a few big contenders for the season are now starting the season backpedaling.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. We had those 2 big cautions, about 15 trucks in each one of those cautions. You just had nowhere to go. And some of those guys felt the wrath of that. And that's racing. Unfortunately, you get caught up, and there's nowhere for you to run and nowhere for you to go. So, you just got to put it back into the hauler and move on next week. And hopefully your luck can change, and you bring the right truck to the next race.
So what do we do here with 3 to go, 6th caution this evening? It's been great racing so far, Derek. What do you do here? Caution, 6th caution with 3 to go, rather. This could well be green white checker number 1, and then do you usually, my mentality, and I'm a pretty bad oval driver, but my mentality now is usually is just go, but with that 2 extra chances of getting up there, do you just hold off a little bit, or is it still same mentality, just go for the win?
What I'm thinking about is I'm looking all around me. I'm seeing who is around me in the first 3 rows of this restart here. I want to know who's going to help me, who's going to work against me. So that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm just kind of sizing up, maybe getting on the radio, talking. We're getting ready to go green here, so.
We are getting ready to go green as Mackenzie's going to lead us to green. Geico restart zone is in play. It's passed. It's gone. Mackenzie, he's gone as well. Uses the apron. Wants that line. Wants that run.
We're going to be going to white flag here.
Let's have a look. 2 to go. When we cross the line the next time, it's white flag. Any flag wins. Tom Pritchard's still in play as well. We've got about 6 or 7. Darren McKenzie, though, with the start. Aiden Schulz is there to help. We're going 3 wide. The 6 is up high. Aiden Schulz goes up there to push his mate. He's got nowhere to go. This is it. We're going to go white flag. Next flag will win this thing. Round 1 has gone down to this. Here we go. Next flag wins. Darren McKenzie uses the apron again. The low line working. Sim boys together. Daniel Stevens got the high with Tom Pritchard. Aiden Schulz has nowhere to go back there. 4 deep down the bottom. Daniel Stevens still pushes that high line with Tom Pritchard, the number 2 of Mackenzie, though he's really starting to run. Bottom line looks to be where it's going to be. It looks like Darren McKenzie is going to win round 1 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series. Who's going to get second?
5 wide, 4 wide. Great finish. Great finish.
$50 to Darren McKenzie, Southern Stars Esports. What a way to finish. Who got second? Todd Maxfield, Daniel Stevens, that's your podium. Was it 4 or 5 wide over the line for that second position, Derek? What a way to finish.
Great race, 4 wide at the line for second to 5th place. These guys put on a great show. They did it right. Kudos to everybody who showed up tonight. Great field of drivers. Couldn't have asked for a better race, here in Atlanta.
Well, Darren McKenzie, he didn't put a foot wrong, did he? As he's going to do some celebratory burnouts. Let's enjoy this, mate. Has he got the fuel left to do it? Or is he just waiting for his teammate? He's probably waiting for his team salute as well, because as we all know, when you're part of this team, they love the team salute. So we'll just shut up for a minute and let's enjoy the celebrations from Darren McKenzie, our round 1 race winner. Well deserved too, wasn't it, from the 0-2. Didn't really put his nose wrong or foot wrong all night, and he knew exactly where the race was at, didn't he, Derek?
Absolutely. He stuck with the line that had the momentum, and that's what he did, especially on that last restart. Stuck to his guns. He stayed down on the low line. He knew he had the help. He stayed down there. That's what eventually got him the victory.
As he expires his engine as well, definitely didn't leave anything out there for the opening round, Derek. But well, that wasn't surprising. That the race was so eventful. Remember, 2 more super speedways to open this round. But all in all, mate, how'd you find the opening round? And of course, your debut round up here in the booth, mate. The guys make it easy for us up here, don't they?
Absolutely. The guys ran a great race all around tonight. It's relatively clean. They did what they had to do. They made the moves when they had to make the moves, and the race the ending showed for itself. The quality was fantastic, and we got to see a fantastic race here in Atlanta. So we'll be moving on to the next one, and hopefully it'll be just as good.
Well, round 1, if that's got anything to go by, well, that's just how much the guys at the Skypoynt NASCAR series have really stepped it up for everyone to enjoy. Hopefully the broadcast was on par here tonight. A little bit croaky, got the change of the season fuel, I think, but flu, I should say. But well, one into the bank, 15 rounds to go. Plenty of racing in this great season. Round 1 though at Atlanta. How good was it? Darren McKenzie, Southern Stars Esports on the top step. Maxfield and Stevens. We'll speak to them in a minute. Derek K. Donnelly and Aidan Schulz bags the top 5 as well. And if we have a look through at least the top 18, a few names down there where we didn't expect, but also you have a look at the top 15 names at least. The names, well, they're names you see in some of the best competitions around Australia. So we're quite blessed to have the drivers here tonight and the racing on display.
Absolutely. Everybody in the top 18 there, had a fantastic race. Some of those guys like Naughty Tompkins and Greg, they, started from the rear, and they just worked their way up slowly but surely. So great race for them. And, unfortunately, the incident happened to Jai, and, my buddy Adam Malone had a pretty decent finish there at 14. So I'm glad to see that happen.
What about Andy Barber as well? Caught up in a couple of accidents and then lost power. So that's the way he ended his race. And don't forget, don't go anywhere. We've got the interviews coming up, and also still $10 up for grabs for one of these lucky drivers as well. If you finish the race and classified a winner, that's the $10 up for grabs. But the winner of this race, Darren McKenzie, he'll take home $50, and Todd Maxfield will take home 20. So the cash is up for grabs this round, and Darren McKenzie, first recipient of a race win, mate. But that's our results. That's round 1 done and won, and let's wrap it up. Let's jump into the podium room and let's talk to our race winners.
Let's do it.
As we move down into the green room, evening boys, no rest for the wicked, straight back out for a brand new season. Atlanta really turned it on. We got Dan Stevens in here, mate. How was the race? It looked tough out there tonight. First one under the wraps.
Yeah, she was a little bit of a tough one. It makes it even worse is when you stuff up your bloody pit cycle as well. I made a big mirror of that. But yeah, I'm surprised to be up on the podium after tonight's race.
Well, mate, it looked pretty comfortable out there, especially on that high line. Talk us through it. It's a newly surfaced track, and some I'm still getting my head around the difference in surfaces here on the sim. Is it now becoming a multi-lane track, do you think, or is it still one line preferred?
No, that's 2 lines. Definitely 2 lines, not 3. You have to have respect from all drivers if you want to go 3 wide around here. But it's definitely a 2 lane, as you saw. I don't go to low line. I stay the high line the whole time because I had the car set up for the high line.
Yeah, well, it looks pretty good. And talk us through the tyre wear, mate. Right rear give you much grief around here?
No, not really. Like I said, the way they had the car set up, the right rear was actually quite good. No, the tyres, I've still got another set left, I think, or another 2 sets left in the bank, so I'm quite happy with that.
It was a good round, mate. P3 for the first one, up 10 positions from where you qualified. We got Derek Jacobs up here as well. Derek, Dan Stevens done a good job, didn't he? I'll throw it over to you for some questions.
Absolutely, Dan. Great to see you up front tonight. What do you feel overall in the truck today? Did you feel that the rubber was there on the top or on the bottom line most tonight, or?
The rubber was different. Well, it's actually the rubber was actually high and low, but I actually personally prefer the high line. Just like I said, it's the way I had the truck set up. If I went the low line, I would have got a bit loose on. I think there's a bump in turn 2. There is, or turn 3. There's a bit of a bump. You got to try and miss, but if I hit that, it will get loose. But the rubber was definitely on low and high.
Nice. Well, way to stay out of trouble tonight. You put yourself in the right position, so you must have definitely done something right to get that third place finish tonight. Congratulations. Liked watching you tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to get a few more of those in the future.
Yeah, well, I only joined at the beginning of the last season, and I didn't have a very good run. I think my best position was 17th at about 3 or 4 races that I did. So yeah, this season starting off with a P3, it's a pretty good start.
It definitely is, mate.
Absolutely.
You definitely don't sneeze at P3, Dan. You run that high line well, and well, you took every opportunity that you had tonight, and relatively clean car to boot as well, and well, you bagged a P3. So already your highest finishing positions in this season and last. So that's always a positive, Dan. But you're on screen now. We got your webcam up, mate. If you got any last words and any shout outs to the people to get you here, mate, because a stellar job, P3 round one.
Yeah, just quickly just a shout out to you guys for the broadcast and stuff like that. You know, putting your time into it. All the admin dudes as well. Big shout out to Middle Finger Racing boys, like Danny and Trent. They had a bit of a rough night tonight. Colin couldn't make it because he hasn't got his B license yet. But yeah, big shout out to the MFR boys. Sponsors it: Mad As Designs, WP Concrete Team, Snap On Tools, and Aussie Signs and Designs, and Virtual Car Art.
Well, you got a big list of sponsors, and yeah, let's hope your teammates can get there. You know, in the later stages, and let's just hopefully just one bad one is all it takes to turn their season around. Dan, P3 round number one, you got to be happy with that. Keep the forward momentum going to the super speedways next week.
Yeah, man. Fingers crossed. Let's see how we go.
Cheers, mate. Congrats again on your P3. And we got Toddy Maxfield up 34 positions, mate. How'd your race go? It was tough, definitely, to open up a series with no break in between, wasn't it?
Well, mate, consider I'm up here. She went pretty well for me, I think, starting from back there.
And I tell you, talk us through it. Simba is at it again. There was a couple of friendly fire a little bit further back. His guys fired hard. Did you? Was there any bits of the race that you would have liked to change, or P2 and happy with it?
No, look, mate, I had a terrible run to start with. I hit the wall a couple of times and, was running at the back of the pack. One of my pit stops, I actually looped it coming out of pit lane. Car sort of didn't really have the pace unless I was right into that draft, and lucky I held onto it for the final part of the race there and pushed myself up through, and yeah, luck for me, I'm up on here, so.
Well, as you know, the guys at Skypoynt are throwing the cash around, so you're the runner-up, so you've got some cash coming your way, paid out at the end of the season, I do believe. And Green White Checkers, 3 of them, the introduction into this season. You a fan?
Oh, yeah, no, it's. I don't think it's much different if you got 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go, or 4 laps to go. That them last sort of 5 laps is where it gets real racy at the top into the race there, and anything can happen.
And with 3 green white checkers, does it change your mentality? Do you, even though it's, I say my mentality is if you can get home, it's foot down and just go for it and don't let off. Do you still take that sort of mentality into it, even though you got 2 more stabs at it if need be?
Yeah, no, mate. Just it's at pointy end, so you do. You just push. Everything goes out the window, and you just try and fight for that top spot. So.
Well, mate, you're fighting there as well tonight, up 34 positions from where you qualified. Todd Maxfield, P2. Derek, jump in, mate.
Yeah, it's better to be lucky than good, John. And guess what? You brought that truck all the way through the field, so congratulations on that P2 finish.
Yeah, no, thanks, mate. Yeah, no, stoked.
I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. It's just a little adversity, and get the truck figured out. A few mishaps, but as long as you're in the right place at the right time, that's what. Sometimes better be lucky than good. So congratulations.
No, cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
Well, Todd Maxfield, mate. Any last words from you, and shout out to the people that get you here, mate? Because you started this season off on a great note. P2, congrats.
Yeah, cheers. No, just to you guys. Put on the broadcast, Skypoint itself, and shout out to the Sim boys. A couple of unlucky ones there tonight, a couple of good ones. So, Hot Toddy's heating installs, United Electrical, and Ferris Shifters.
Awesome, mate. We'll see you again next round, no doubt, up the pointy end. But Todd Maxfield, congrats for your P2.
Thanks.
Well, D-Mac, how you going, mate? Talk us through that one. You started the series off well, you couldn't have done any better. P1, congrats.
Yeah, I do seem to have an affinity for Atlanta, so I had high hopes, but honestly, I didn't expect to be here, so I'm stoked. Yeah.
We noticed also as well that your team were working well together. I think it probably the bottom line more suited you than high. You can correct me if I'm wrong with that. But talk us through the radio chatter throughout the race, because it looks like yous were all on the same page.
Yeah, definitely. We're working together the whole race. It was in the sense of super speedway. Yeah, we were running as all cars as one, so trying to move fluidly through the field and holding our positions. But as for running high and low, it was 50-50. Like, we could run the high line and keep pace, and the low line, myself, I found probably maybe the last 10 to 15 laps, entry into 3 with the bump that that was mentioned earlier. I had a real couple of pucker moments where I sort of just held on and thought, oh, here we go. But yeah, it all ended well in the end.
Yeah, I think that bump that was mentioned did catch a couple of people out. Well, you got your teammate in here, Derek Jacobs, mate. I'm sure you're not shy to throw some questions at him. You're pumped for your teammate to win this one, weren't you?
Absolutely, good job, Docious. Way to come through. I mean, what a race. I mean, from start to finish, running up front. Congratulations, Mel.
Yeah, definitely is. Like I said, I do like this track a lot, so it's one that, yeah, competitors should be wary of me when I'm on track. So I don't know, it just seems to click, the looseness of it, and the tyre wear just suits me perfectly. So it's a great track to race on.
Well, you
that's
proved.
one for Southern Stars and Skypoynt. So we'll continue a good run, and hopefully this season we'll be able to have a few more victory lane celebrations.
And also, we'll make note of that. Sorry, Darren. I'll make note of that. We started off the last season with it was a Skypoynt truck, but as we all know, that Skypoynt Southern Stars are pretty much the same team. We started out with Tom Pritchard, Andy Barber, doing it. You were close to doing it with Aidan Schulz, but he fell back, just getting a little bit loose, perhaps off that bump. So you've started the season off just the same as the team did last season. Let's hopefully it progresses through, because you were quite successful, Darren. But, well, time's come, mate. Let's wrap this up. I'm a bit crook. I want to get to bed, and I'm sure everyone else does. But what a great race at Atlanta to open up this series. Darren McKenzie, congratulations on your P1. Shout outs to anyone that you feel fit.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Skypoynt for sure. They put on a great series. They major sponsor of the team. Tiona Holiday Parks, Mish's XL Garage, Southern Stars, everyone involved in that Skypoynt Southern Stars team, and yourselves at LR Esports do a great job every week to bring the best show into people's living rooms each week.
Yeah, well, we're back again, aren't we, on Tuesday nights with no break, 16 rounds it will be. But D-Mac, congratulations on your P1, mate, and we'll see you next week.
Definitely. I'll be there with bells on.
100%, mate. Congrats to the whole podium, Darren McKenzie, Maxfield, and Stevens. Don't forget as well, McKenzie, you bag $50 from Bossman as well, Tom Pritchard, and Maxfield, you bag a prize as well. So cash coming through and fast. If you want to get your business name out there on the broadcast or on the websites and the Facebook pages, all the socials, be sure to check out skypointracing.com. Tom and the crew will sort you out. It's I've heard their broadcast is not the cheapest as well, so they need all the hands that they can get. But Derek, first time in the booth, and well, calling this great series home. You gelled in well, and hopefully you had fun, mate, seeing what it's like up in the booth.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great race. Great mentor in Peter Gretton. So appreciate you having me up here. Guest commentator tonight. Hopefully I wasn't too boring and was able to get the job done for you.
We definitely got the job done, and it was a great start to the season. Season 3 of the Skypoynt NASCAR trucks is well underway with the competition out on track here at Atlanta. It all starts super speedways for the next 2 rounds. Darren McKenzie, Maxfield, and Stevens, they showed their speed out here tonight. The podium will pick up prizes, as I've already mentioned, and they'll take a high into round number 2. So that's pretty much it here for round number 1. Congrats to the podium. Thanks to Derek Jacobs for his expert commentary, and thanks to everyone that competed. So until the next one, have a good night. Cheers.